All right, I was asked a question, and I've been so busy, I really didn't have time to even think about composing a reply on an email, which probably would have been the fastest. But thought I would try and draw it in SketchUp. Turn up the axes. Um, so this one's for you, Ross. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's late. Your question was on some roofs, you'll see the rafters up on a floor system, or this is the second floor ceiling joist, so there's no subfloor. However, something I always did, if we ever had to do a house that had like 2x8 or 2x10 or whatever, if they were ever going to use the attic space, we always did this pretty much just to lock it in with structure. Um, we would go, let's do that, and go 96, comma 48, bam. The letter P, come up 3/4. 1, 2, 3. I use G for group, not G for component, because it makes no sense. Why not use the letter that's part of the word? And then, to make this look legit, we'll go like this, and we'll make it a little bit see-through, but it's Advantech. So that's kind of cool. Sketch was pretty cool. And then let's say we had a roof that was 8 and 12 on one side and 12 and 12 on the other. In the old Texas days, the steeper pitch, we would cut the tails off before we even put the rafters up. And then if you had an 8 and 12 down here and a 12 and 12 over here, we'd cut a bunch of tails that were just the overhang plus enough to nail beside the rafter. And we would attach them to the 12 and 12 sides. So you would come down steep and you'd hit a certain point and then you would kick out. And that would make an equal overhang all the way around. And the overhang was 8 and 12 all the way around the house, even though the ends were 12 and 12. And that's what I learned. So it seemed normal to me until I was in Memphis. And there's some discerning builders over there who think that's stupid. So what you do instead to maintain that, let's say it's a 16-inch overhang, on your low pitch, wherever that lands, that's driving everything. So the elevation of your subfascia, the top of your subfascia, or the inside of where your fascia touches your subfascia, that's your golden string line. And so you come around your 16, 16, 16, and then if you were to just run your 12 and 12s, they're steeper, so they're going to stick down. And as you come around the corner with that golden string line, your 12 and 12s are, for them to come out far enough to meet that 16-inch, they're going to be down below these 8 and 12s. So whatever that vertical distance that they're down below, you have to add, we called it pack up, but that's just slang terms. You're going to add wood to raise where the rafters are going to sit. And like in some instances, you get lucky and it'll be 4.5. And so you just, 3 2x6s nailed down and it raises you up 4.5. And so you're always, whatever that is, whatever that height becomes, you're thinking of multiples of different materials. You've got 3/8 plywood for your soffit. You've got 1/2 inch. You have 3/4 for subfloor. Sometimes you have 1 1/8. You've got 1.5 inches for 2x. So you try to come up with something that will raise the steeper pitch high enough that when it reaches 16 inches out or whatever, 14.5, whatever, it's the same elevation as the lower pitch. So I'm going to try and draw that. I was just cruising along here, and then I thought, why don't I just see what I can do? Well, yeah, let's do that. So I typically don't color things right away. It's not really how I like to do it. But when it's all said and done, I will. So we're going to move copy this. I'm going to bring it this way, 48. Oh, here's one funny. Maybe this will get back to Advantech or Huber zip wall. So their zip wall panels are 47 and I want to say 13/16 or not quite 7/8 from along the 4-foot width. And they have this little tongue that sticks out, which is supposed to be an automatic spacer. Well, after we ran 3 sheets, we started coming off the studs that were laid out 16-inch on center. And so I'm looking all through their material like, oh crap, are we supposed to nail gap these? No, that's gapless. It's designed to just bump into the next piece and bump into the next piece. So I don't know if they are a little off on their factory or if somehow the little tongue bump that sticks out was damaged, or if these have been out in the weather so long that they've shrunk. I don't know. But I lay out exactly on 16-inch on center, so 4 feet breaks perfectly. And after 3 sheets, we had shifted enough that we were at the edge of the stud, had to add another stud. Absolutely, I hate that. I hate that like you have no idea. I hate that. I've used that stuff before, and I don't recall this ever being an issue. So we might have got a bad batch. I have seen bad batches of things. I've seen out of square plywood once, and I talked a guy into using the Advantech subfloor, and the vendor couldn't get enough for the project because they don't stock it, and he got 2 different loads. They both were Advantech. But I'm going to use Medique trim. It's kind of a cool tool. They didn't have the same tongue to groove profile. And so they wouldn't go together. And we ended up having to run we got a router and routed our own groove to make it suck up tight. So it's odd because you naturally would say the term, well, it's factory, it's got to be right. Well, nope. Those are people too. So let's do, here's another cool move. I'm using Stream Deck for all this. So this is rotate with the plus. So you don't see the buttons pop up here on the screen. I guess I could do it old school, and actually that would be Q and I think option. No, yeah, Q option. That's on a Mac. I don't know what it is on Windows. So let's just assume this is your double plate, and we will just go ahead just for, man, I am so wiped. There we go. Push that back just to be honest. And yeah, these are 2x6 walls. In some places it's required. Other places it's not. So here they are. These are stout steeling joists because the smart designer knows that the person has really steep roof pitches, so you might as well have storage up here. You can 2x8s are probably fine because most rooms aren't that. There's not a big long clear span. But let's say you're going over a great room, 16 feet or something. Here's your roof, and I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna put a 2x4 floating out in mid space. So let's do T. And I push the left arrow to do that, and then T this way. That's the right arrow. Giving a red 16, boom. And I'm always hitting escape in space. So that should be 16 inches off of this wall and 16 inches off of this wall. And then let's just quickly, I'm just going to draw a board that's 8 and 12 one way here. Let's just get that done. Rectangle. Yeah, 1.5, comma 96 inner. And we'll make this a 2x6 just because it'll be easier to lift up onto the roof. That's digital, so it doesn't matter. I'm just being stupid. G. And then we're going to copy this. So one of the things I like to do is the flip tool. I've got nothing that's on an angle though. So I make here, let's just do this. I just make a big panel like this. Double click G. Then I stand it up. What am I doing here? Q. Yep. And then now I'm going to rotate it. Let's go like this. And we're going to type in 45, enter. Then I'm going to take it over here. Move. So if you like using just one type of software, today, if you're watching me, I'm using SketchUp. There are many types of different software. Sometimes I use Chief. Let's see if I can keep this. Don't know if I can keep this oriented right. I think I can do this. Yeah, hold down Shift. There we go. So I park it way out of the way so it's not distracting. And the only reason I did that was I want another one of these over there, and I didn't want to draw it. So now when I do this and I hit flip plus, I just click on that. Look at that. It just threw one over there. Anytime you're going to do anything symmetrical, you're going to want a snapping plane somewhere off in the distance here. And then wherever you think you're going to be mirroring or flipping, just throw one of these in there. You can always put it on its own little tag layer and hide it later. Okay, so we'll make this a 12 and 12. Q. I need to get where I'm only seeing one of the edges. There we go. Q. 12 and 12 is 45 degrees. I wonder if this will do. I bet like if I typed in 3 and 12, it's not going to know what the hell that is it? Q. Let me check. Oh, you know what? I can bring you along. I have an app for this. Oh, what is it called? Where is it? Construction Master. Who makes that? Hang on a second. I don't remember what. They don't call it Construction Master. Let's just go calculator. There it is. So it's CM Pro. That's what I was trying to get. It's kind of weird. All right. Wow, that's really actually way bigger than I need. That's okay. All I wanted was like 8-inch pitch, 3369. I was hoping it would give me a little more. All right, well, because sometimes I really like to be accurate. So here, watch this. EM. Yeah, when we need to play with power, we bust out the real thing. Turn it on. Clear. going to go 8, enter, 12, divide, and inverse arctangent. There we go. That's the real number. And now because I'm on a Mac, I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually copy that text out of that image. Love this calculator. I actually have the real thing, but I like that it's virtual too. And then I click in the angle. Hopefully it stays active. And I paste. Command B. No, it didn't work. Come on now. That's lame. All that work. Oh, I got to start. Never mind. Hello. Okay, now I can go with V. So now I'm exactly at 8 and 12. Not rounded off to the nearest 100th. And just for fun, I'm going to make, because this isn't how you would do this. I don't have the time or the mental energy to do this, but I'm just going to take this to the outside edge of the building. Yeah. You would actually go to the code book and it talks about, what do you call that? They call it rafter notch, but bird's mouth, height above plate, all that stuff. And the whole code book is goofy on that because the steeper you get, the less bird mouth notch you have. And you would think, because they do talk about joists and rafter. Whoops. Here's my thought process. As long as this bottom edge is fully supported when you cut your bird's mouth, then you have a full depth member. And fully supported means if you cut a horizontal piece off of here, as long as the short point is supported on this plate and not sticking out into the air, that should be fine. But when you read the code book, the steeper you get, it's D over 4, and D is the depth. So you would make 3 lines in here, and then you get to only cut up to that first line. So when you get really steep, you're only cutting barely into this thing for it to be attached to the house. And I think they need to rework that. Doesn't make any sense. So here's where, I don't know, I've never done this in Chief, so this is kind of cool. I'm going to try and pull this out to this line. So that tip right there is touching that. And this tip here is touching that. And you can tell right away, we haven't even gone anywhere. The bottom of this is about the middle of the joist. And the bottom of this is lower. And that's only going from 8 and 12 to 12 and 12. I've seen some, there's a house we did in Memphis that had 16 and 12 and 8 and 12. And so even the rafters even steeper. But they had a really cool attic. That's where the wife had her sewing and crafts set up over the garage. But what you would do, see if I can make this work. I wonder. I think it'll let me do vertical here. When you're not, here, I'll show you. Take this line. Come here, you. Command X, 1, 2, 3. Make sure. Yep. Paste and hold. Now I can go like this. And let me show you why I did it in that sequence, because if you start over here and you do this, 1, 2, 3, and then you try to draw a line, it has no idea what vertical is. It's trying to interact with all the geometry. So I draw a line when it's not sticky. Then I cut the line. Whoops, cut the line. 1, 2, 3. What is paste and hold here? Let's just go paste in place. I've got it as a shortcut. So, and then P, push, boom. And now I can bring this out. Oh, you know what? It's going to pull straight out. Yeah, so that's where Medic's software is amazing. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to just do that. Rectangle. What are we doing? Okay. 120, comma, 1, boom. We're going to do just some quick little 1-inch fascia trim. G. We'll do Q plus. And we'll do this and this. And we will move it right there. Think about that. I went 16. So yeah, this actually is in the wrong spot. This has to go. Move here. 1. Move here. 1. Oh, you know what? We can just do this. Boom. Oh, what came off the line? Oh, it didn't. Okay. Yeah. Move this way. There we go. Now I'm getting somewhere. You notice if you don't see the colored X, Y, and Z, you, oh, hey, sorry, Maple. Every time I sneeze, Maple leaves the room, runs away. I think she doesn't like sneezes. But if you don't use the colored X, Y, and Z, you could be going off in the wrong axis and totally not have what you want. Okay, yep, there we go. So now I'm going to use Medic's extend. Because he actually, this is amazing. His extends in the direction of the board. Let me show you what would happen if I just did push-pull. Push-pull only works. Whoops. I got to get this thing to work better. Push-pull only works perpendicular to the surface you're pulling. So watch this. See how goofy that is? But it is what it is, so you just have to learn that. You'll do a couple things. You'll be like, oh, yeah, that doesn't work like that. We're going to go Medic extend. And then boom. So if you're going to get into SketchUp, man, Medic stuff is really good. And just for ease of calculation, we're going to move here, click this, and click the up arrow so it stays locked, and then inference over to there. And then what I would do is, if my plywood came down, it would actually plane to the outer edge of this, but I don't have that information. What I'm trying to say is, I guess I could just put something there and take it down and bump it back in. I'm really tired. I don't want to do all this work just for this explanation. But here's what, if this, it'll work for anywhere. So if I measure, this is 0. This long point to the inside is 0. So if I come over here, and I'm able to draw a line just to have something to measure with. Let's go from here We'll do yellow to there. The letter D dimension. So the plate difference, what you would do if your bird's mouths were the same height, if your hap was the same height, because the bottom of the board is referencing, it's just sitting there. I know this isn't exact because I would cut in a bird's mouth here and I'd cut in a bird's mouth there. And part of that would be I could take some of this distance out of the bird's mouths. So that if I only wanted to raise this 3 inches on this side, I could adjust these bird mouths so that I take out 1 inch and 3/16 more out of the seat cut of this bird's mouth. And then I would only have to come up 3 inches. So combined between the height above plates and what I'm sitting on, it would be 4 3/16. And you know, I think this would be something that could be built in Excel, where you could either have a table that would have the different overhang lengths, you know, like 6 inch, 12 inch, 16, 18, 24, whatever. And not too many people go past 24. There's, I think, something in the IRC even that says you can't go past that without some kind of review or whatever. But you can make a table, or you could just make equations to where you could just punch that data in. I know it's doable in Excel because I did it on my HP calculator when I figure 2 different tails. I can't show you that right now because I'd have to set up a camera. But it's easy. It's not hard to do. And when you do all the calculations, it'll also tell you how far down to come to put in a 2x nailer against the wall if you're going to have flat soffit. All that goodness. We even did, we used to do plywood with rectangular soffit vents, and the builder wanted them evenly spaced. So we wrote that. Well, I wrote that. The boys just kind of did every 6 feet. But then you might have a close layout somewhere. So I just took the whole length of the house and divided it evenly. And then I could cut that all up. And when they put it in, put the little vents on, everything was symmetrical. So framing can be pretty fun. So go enjoy it, man. Go learn stuff. My son's working with me right now, and I'm having a blast. Seeing him just awesome. It's awesome seeing him do his thing. So, y'all have a great one. Ross, I'll try to do a better video when I'm not so exhausted. So, hope this one works for you for now. And I've taken up 30 minutes of people's lives. I apologize. Go have fun. Pet your dog. Love your wife. Do things great for people. And have a good one.